Well, it's the weekend, and when the weekend happens, so does Michael Snyder as we go out to the left coast of the United States of America and check in with Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex. Greetings, everyone. The fabulous state of California. The chill has come upon us. It's truly autumn, and heading into the holiday season. And that means some good films are going to get released because, people love those awards circumstances. And so we have a couple, two of my favorites of the year so far. But also we have kind of a star-studded big budget thing to kick things off, a remake of Murder on the Orient Express. This is one of those shiny, fancy, star-studded versions of the classic Agatha Christie novel. I mean, it's already been made into a couple of movies, including a made-for-TV film, a TV miniseries. I mean, they made a video game of this. Anyway, the story features her fussy Belgian detective, Hercule Poirot, and it's a rather elegant murder mystery set in the mid-30s on the exotic and upscale train that travels from Istanbul to Paris. The story kicks off in Cairo, where Poirot, played with some panache and a weird accent by the movie's director Kenneth Branagh, is called to London on a case. He has passage on the Orient Express, which is basically overseen by a friend of his, and his fellow passengers include a motley bunch, well-heeled and motley. I mean, a governess, a doctor, a wealthy, attractive, middle-aged American woman, a dowager princess and her assistant, a tough guy gangster and his secretary, a nurse, a handsome, hot-headed count, his loopy, pretty wife, and so on and so on. Anyway, during the trip, of course, a passenger is killed, and it's up to Poirot to solve the murder. The assumption is that one of the other passengers did the deed, and so the investigation's underway, and the suspects are all played to the hilt by the cast. I mean, they really top-loaded this thing with some talented actors. For instance, there's Judi Dench as the elderly princess. Johnny Depp is the weird kind of tough guy gangster type. Josh Gad is his assistant. You get Michelle Pfeiffer as the well-heeled American woman, Daisy Ridley as the governess, Olivia Colman, who I love from Broadchurch and various other shows, plays the assistant to the princess. Again, this is a terrific cast, and you kind of get caught up in their talent. But there's kind of an air of familiarity here that diminishes the fun a little bit. I mean, again, this is the umpteenth remake of this. Nonetheless, well executed, so to speak, and probably worth watching if you have nothing else to do, if you can watch it at home, and if you've never seen any dramatization of this or read the material. As for me and Hercule Poirot, been there, solved that.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Did you happen to see it in 70 millimeter?
I don't believe I did. Yeah. I think I saw it in a standard projection.
Yeah, they're doing a 70 millimeter release on this thing because it was shot in 70 millimeter. Much what Quentin Tarantino did with The Hateful Eight.
It's a beautiful film to look at. There's no question about it. But, that doesn't necessarily increase the story value on something that's so, I'll use the word hoary, Hoary, Anyway, let's get on to the movies that I'm besotted with, enamored with, and definitely tagging for awards consideration at the end of the year. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is absolutely my favorite film this year at this juncture. We haven't seen everything, but it's pretty wonderful. It's directed by Martin McDonagh, the Irish director, screenwriter, and playwright behind the very cool gangster buddy pick In Bruges. But it seems like one of the best Coen Brothers efforts and better than much of their more recent output. And that sense is reinforced by the kind of darkly comic and occasionally violent moments on and off screen. We don't see everything grisly. And by the presence of actress Frances McDormand, Coen Brothers' muse, wife of Joel Coen, in the lead role of Mildred Hayes, who was a small-town working-class woman from Ebbing, Missouri, whose daughter was murdered. Now, months have gone by, and the police have failed to solve the case or even apprehended a suspect. And Mildred is so pissed that she does something unexpected that roils the town people and gets some serious media attention, putting the local cops in a less than flattering light. And those local police are led by a well-liked chief of police, William Willoughby, played by Woody Harrelson. And Harrelson is just terrific in this role, and it's a very beautifully shaded character and performance. Anyway, Mildred rents 3 billboards on the edge of Ebbing and uses them to shame the cops and Willoughby for failing to solve the case and bring the killer to justice. This kind of makes her a bit of a pariah because everybody likes Willoughby. And come on, we can't solve the case. So Willoughby tries to keep his cool and keep the peace, but his second in command, Officer Dixon, who is played, by the way, in a tour de farce by the great Sam Rockwell, is a major a-hole with a short fuse, and he's going to stir up even more trouble. The cast is just superb. Woody is so much better than he is in LBJ, burdened by all that prosthetic makeup as Lyndon Johnson. Here, he's really in his element, and he gets great support from Abby Cornish as his wife. The fantastic John Hawkes is here as Mildred's ex-husband. Peter Dinklage is on board as a kind but kind of beleaguered local who has a yen for Mildred, and other terrific character actors. This is pointed, unflinching, and what's the word, is zesty. I mean, 3 billboards is masterful, and it's also a sign that McDonough is heading for the upper tier of modern movie makers. I think it's actually my favorite performance of McDormand's career to date, and that includes stuff like Fargo, which she did with the Coens. I really think 3 billboards is going to get a lot of positive attention. I think people should seek it out, and I left the theater feeling like I had really spent time to my great satisfaction. I also loved Lady Bird. Now, Lady Bird is one of the finer, funnier, and more honest coming-of-age movies I've seen. It's about a teenage girl in Sacramento, California. It seems around the 1990s or so, and her travails at the Catholic high school she attends, as well as her interactions with her peers, her discovery of the theater arts at school, and especially her contentious relationship with her mother. And it was written and directed by the quirky latter-day queen of the indie films, Greta Gerwig. I guess she took over for Parker Posey. In any event, as Queen of the Indies. She's written and starred in a couple of really good movies directed by Noah Baumbach, Frances Ha, Mistress America. And she's co-directed a pretty forgettable one called Nights and Weekends almost a decade ago. But this is the first feature she's directed on her own, and it's impressive work. And that impressive work is taken to greater heights by her cast, especially the young Irish actress Saoirse Ronan, who's terrific. I mean, last year she was wonderful in the period drama Brooklyn. Before that, she was the kid assassin in Hannah. And here she plays the lead character, Christine Lady Bird McPherson. She doesn't want to be called by her given name, Christine, only Lady Bird. She's, one of those, kind of balky kids. And she's matched beat for beat here by Laurie Metcalf, who's best known for her work on sitcoms like Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory. And here she's Lady Bird's demanding, hypercritical mother. I've never seen her better. And I've always liked Gerwig as an actress, even though she's always seemed to play a version of the same character and has kind of limited skills that she's kind of governed by her type. Ronan is a considerably better actress than Gerwig, so a great choice. And even though Lady Bird appears to be autobiographical in part, Ronan gives the character a unique presence unlike that of Gerwig herself. Also, good support here from Tracy Letts as Lady Bird's dad, and a few other actors, including Lois Smith as the kind of mother superior at the Catholic school. It's really sweet and wonderful and kind of a feel-good film, but like honest and straightforward in intent. It bodes well for Gerwig as a movie maker. It may be one of those, kind of beginner's luck situations or one and done, but we'll see what she comes up with beyond this. I think Lady Bird is also going to be in the awards discussion at the end of the year. What are you watching? What are you up to back there, buddy?
Nothing much. Oh, yeah. I've gotten to really like Orville. the Orville, which is the...
You don't find the kind of contemporary style of humor jarring?
No, not at all. I think it's very funny. It's it's very funny, but it's also, the stories are good. I happen to like it, you know.
I've been watching it. I just find it, the jokes and the snide asides kind of.
I think it all works beautifully. Just works beautifully. And, you know, I'm watching Star Trek Discovery, which is also terrific, and has kind of reinvented that whole Star Trek thing. So, you know, those are a couple of the good things that I'm watching. Anyway,
I agree with you on Discovery, by the way, which I found to be hitting its stride. I do wish they had said it after the original series that we've already seen instead of made it a prequel, but I've really enjoyed what they're doing.
Well, the idea of it is a prequel, and then it's so much more modern than the original. Yeah. It doesn't. And the other thing that bothers me in all of this is that they spend a fortune on the special effects. I mean, really, spend a fortune. And yet they can't make a good prosthetic face for that alien who's the second in command. And
Saru.
Yeah, it's like a hard mask with the lips that move on it, but they don't move that well. It really just jarring compared to the rest of the production.
Well, what about the prosthetics on their kind of reinvented Klingons are much better than the prosthetics on him, I think.
Yes, but I mean, his is just ghastly. Just ghastly.
Well, the upside, no, it's Doug Jones, and I'm glad he's getting a forum for his talents. He's one of the stars of the upcoming Del Toro film, The Shape of Water. He plays the monster in that, and he was the monster in Pan's Labyrinth. Here he has dialogue and a presence and a character, and I think he's really doing a great job. So from that standpoint, yeah, maybe the mask betrays him a little, but he's been good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that about wraps it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you care to tell us a little bit about where we can find you?
On Twitter, I'm at Culture Blaster. Check in there, and also check into Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page on Facebook, where you can dip into the archive and listen to Alex and myself and read articles and stuff if you like.
And there's more GABNet coming right up.